It is the end of the line for some, while two powerhouse clubs boost their percentages on a Saturday arvo. First, the Hawks continue their hot run, this time smashing the Roos in Tassie, while the Cats kick away. Jezza aging like a fine wine with 9 to lock away a double chance. Brisbane will get their home final after holding off the Bombers. Brownlow hope Lachie Neale joins us live as they prepare for a do-or-die clash. And those slick Swannies are minor premiers putting on a clinic against the Crows. The winds of change blow down Punt Road as the Tigers farewell premiership heroes and claim the wooden spoon. And there was electricity in the sky and on the ground as the youngest Dacos makes one last push for a Brownlow. Lordo's ready to deep dive. We're moving the target for Louis handball and we'll discuss all the magnificent machinations of today's action. We've got Damo, or we've got Kano, or we've got Lordo and Brownie on the wild, the wonderful, the all-powerful, the all-conquering Sunday Footy Show. Yes, a very good morning. It's great to have your company on this Sunday as we get ready to delve into September, but a lot to get through yet, including 3 great games today. So as we welcome... Can you smell something?
I can, TJ.
Oh, it's pungent. Who is it? No, when I say who is it, did you splash yourself with...
I did. There's a new cologne, a Peter Dacos cologne, which I saw out the back.
Smells all right.
Yeah, I maybe just put a touch too much on.
Yeah.
But I reckon it's okay.
Peter Dacos has brought out a cologne.
He has.
Yeah.
He has.
What's it smell like?
What, you can't tell?
No, I've got a bit of a cold.
It's pretty good, but it's got all his achievements on the back. I think it's pretty reasonably priced. And
How much is it?
It's about $135.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but we're going to give some. We're going to give some away a little later on, mate. If you've got a blocked nose, just go and have a whiff of him. I'll tell you. Hey, Damo's here. How are you, mate?
Well, TJ, yeah, 204 matches down of a 207-match season, and the 3 remaining are going to shape the ladder positions 2 to 10. It's a huge day coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, and Nathan Brown's actually going to go through those machinations for us a little later on. So if you're a Collingwood or Melbourne fan, you're probably going to make it still, judging by Nathan's explanation.
I've got exclusive text message leak again today. So for the second time this year, I am going to leak a text message from someone on this
You've got to stop doing that. They're private messages came.
Was it me last time?
Oh, well, you'll have to wait and see because I've had hidden vision of Lordo earlier on this year and I've got leaked exclusive text message today.
Who's it pertain to?
Well, you'll see in about half an hour's time.
Right. Did you get a text message from Josh Rochelle through the week?
No, I didn't. I think he had other concerns.
You were hard on him.
I wasn't hard on him
Oh,
at
you
all.
were. And then Adelaide go and drop him.
Yeah, well, as I said last week, he embarrassed himself. He embarrassed his footy
did
club.
not. He was having
and
a
the
bit
club,
of fun.
Not for the first time, a player breaks team rules and they pay the price at selection.
What's the team rule?
They
Having
overreacted.
fun. Having fun.
No, making it all about yourself.
Oh, just trying to put a bit of humour into the game. Speaking of which, Lord,
Hey, TJ, I don't think he was dropped just for that, mind you. I think his form was a bit of an issue as well. But you've made 2 predictions that I know of since 2018 in 6 years. So 2 massive predictions. This was the first of them.
the great pity about Collingwood losing to West Coast is that West Coast is now very well placed to go through to the grand final. And Neil, I've got to say, I think it would be a waste of a spot in the grand final if they get there.
Needs to be inch perfect, he is!
Take that one, Tony Jones. Oh, choppity chop, 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 chop.
All right, so you went big on that, and then you went into hiding, which was the right thing to do, and you didn't make any big statements for about 6 years.
Yeah.
You decide to go again, and this is how it went. It's a 50-50 whether they make it, TJ.
Gee, well, if they don't, I will wash windows on Punt Road for 2 hours.
Will you?
That's how confident
Can
you are.
we record?
Absolutely.
We've got that recorded.
I'm happy. If Collingwood do not make the finals, I will be there with my squeegee and bucket on Punt Road and wash car windows.
And it's now official. I'm not happy that I've become your body double, though, as part of this promotion, but I've become your body double here, TJ. I'm not sure how my...
That's AI. That's AI.
That is not right.
That's an upgrade.
Anyway, just to promote it, TJ's car wash will be Thursday morning, 10:30 to 12:30.
2 hours?
At Liberty Petrol Station, 565 Sydney Road in Coburg. So if you want your car washed by TJ,
Yep.
get to Sydney Road in Coburg on Thursday morning, 10:30 till 12:30, TJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring it on. And
Tim Watson might take his car out there for it to be watched.
Tim?
Tim, yeah, I think he might.
Tim, if you want to bring your car out, what's Tim drive? He'd have a Mercedes or something, wouldn't he?
Don't know.
Tim, if you want to bring your car out, by all means, I will scrub your car for you. You coming out?
No, I won't be, but good day today. Plenty of finals action or the precursor to finals. I would have liked Friday night to have been one of these games, but today sets up brilliantly, so let's talk some footy.
Did you notice also that we were wearing exactly the same thing when we did that 2.5 months ago?
Must be the rotation every certain...
I didn't know we had a rotation.
Let's get into some footy, eh?
I bet... Hey, know your place, little man.
I've had enough of your crap. Right? Have you? Yes.
You noticed some tension earlier.
There's some real tension off there between you two today. More than normal, actually, and it's now spilled over in the first 3 minutes.
No, it hasn't. We're good.
No, it's not going to take much today, Nathan. I can tell you that right now.
People are sitting at home going, I want to know about the footy.
No, they want to see us have a blue. But let's take a look at the score so far.
Oh, what a disastrous round of footy so far. Thank goodness we've got today. Look at the smashings. Melbourne didn't want to be there. North Melbourne didn't want to be there. West Coast didn't want to be there. Richmond didn't want to be there. Essendon, well, they fought back late, thank goodness, and Adelaide did not want to be there. So it all sets up today.
Who wants to be there then?
Well, no one really.
Well, that looks like this with those 3 matches remaining. Sydney cannot move, but every team beneath them, all the way down to 10th on the ladder, can move on the back of the matches that Brownie is about to preview. So significant offerings here coming today in the final 3 matches of the home and away season. As we do flip over to the bottom 10 teams, you can see down the bottom there, it's a disaster down there with 17th and 18th positions on the ladder, North Melbourne and Richmond.
They don't want to be there. Hey, this is going to be fascinating because Nathan's going to explain this.
Yep, Western Bulldogs and the Giants today. So the Giants are fighting for second. The Bulldogs are playing for the top 8 and a home final. They can also miss Carlton, St Kilda.
So how do they miss?
Carlton are playing for the top 8. Well, if the Bulldogs lose and a couple of other sides below them win, being Fremantle and Carlton, Power aiming for top 2. And if they get top 2, that is a hell of an effort after they booed their coach not that long ago. And the Dockers, if they win, there's still an outside chance for the finals, but they need Carlton to lose and they need the Western Bulldogs to lose.
So your homework consisted of just reading that graphic.
No, I thought he delivered it pretty well.
Yeah, me too.
That was clear,
Succinct,
concise.
Yep.
Don't look for negatives and everything, mate.
Where are you going with this?
No, I was happy with it. I got it.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that cologne's effective. I think it has. Hey, let's take a look at the match in Tassie yesterday. This one was actually on the verge of being, severely disrupted in many ways because of an electrical union dispute down there, but it went ahead and it was Hawthorn that turned the power on.
Yeah, they did, and they went to town in the last quarter. They kicked 10 goals in this last quarter. The conditions were wet. There's the Wizard Watson just playing on and banging a goal home, but they just ran ragged yesterday against North Melbourne, and that man could be D'Ambrosio. A sneaky chance for an All-Australian wingman, but this is a game where the other finalists, I know they're playing North Melbourne, but the other finalists looking at this going, how do we stop this? So I think the other clubs are now putting a lot of time into Hawthorn where probably they weren't 10 weeks ago, but just trying to get what makes this Hawthorn side tick. And what makes them tick is there's no one superstar there. They are very even across the board.
What makes them tick is their ticker. They've just got an enormous heart, haven't
And
they?
this is the reason teams will be nervous, because of their record. I mean, since round 9, they've gone 12-3 and they've lost 2 of those games by under 2 points. And this is their recent record. They're not just beating teams, they are smashing teams. And these are some good teams there. I know Carlton were affected by injury, so it's not just the easy beats. They destroyed Collingwood, they destroyed Adelaide, they ran GWS to within 2 points. But this has been the most consistent and best side consistently since round 9, where they've gone 12-3. And I think there'd be some nervous sides waiting to play them in September.
I reckon they're one of the great stories of the modern era, the way they've come from basically nowhere. And Sam Mitchell, so this Thursday night, I think it is the AFL Awards night, the All-Australian, Rising Star, Coach of the Year, that type of thing. Sam Mitchell has got to be a leading contender for that.
Well, he's the coach of the year. I mean, he started 0-5, the leadership that it's shown to turn it around and to do what they've done so quickly. He would be the coach of the year. I want to ask you about North, though, Damo, because I know you've led the charge on your commentary around them. That would have been depressing playing against that Hawthorn side, losing by 124 in teeming rain when you were probably... should be 2 years ahead in the rebuild.
Well, at least 2 years, Kane. I mean, Alistair Clarkson's been there for 2 years now at North Melbourne, and they've won 3 matches this year, 3 matches last year. Just to put this into context, guys, they've won 15 matches in 5 seasons now. Hawthorn has won 14 of the past 18 matches this year. And that just shows the contrast to this club that was starting way behind North Melbourne when its rebuild did effectively start, to then explode into finals inside the 1 year, and North Melbourne just languishing down the bottom, and a percentage of only 63.5%.
Would it be fair to say, Damo, back when they were both 0-5 and they played each other in that round 6 game or round 5 game with opening round, did a lot of people feel like North Melbourne was slightly ahead of Hawthorn at that stage going into that 0-5 game?
Yeah, and the problem is North Melbourne did too. And North Melbourne, I think, has taken some unfortunate solace out of those matches after the bye period this year, where they kept losing, but were losing narrowly. But it hasn't affected and changed anything dramatically positively.
So at what point does the question mark become even bigger over Alistair Clarkson?
I think it has to be asked right now, TJ. I mean, again, I'm not saying remove him. I'm not saying that.
Well,
but
what are you saying?
I'm saying to have a proper look at what he's done and have a proper look at what he's going to do. This is an all-of-club review now that needs to be instituted from Sonia Hood down to Jen Watt to the list management. I mean, there are holes everywhere on this.
Reviews are irrelevant to a certain... You
Well,
want
you cannot
to do a review? Have a look at the ladder.
You cannot meander through another season the way they've just done, TJ. And don't take any solace out of those nice, narrow losses that came in a 6 to 7 to 8 week period, because they didn't win the matches they were meant to win. They had chances to win, they didn't, and then they've fallen away so dramatically. They've got holes everywhere on the list.
What would you hope to get out of another review, though? Like, what do North Melbourne people, if they did a review, what are they hoping to find?
Yeah,
to take some control back from Alistair Clarkson, who has been given the full keys to the football club now for 2 seasons.
So who needs to take control, though?
Well, the board.
Away from Alistair Clarkson.
The board.
Well, the board can't coach.
I think there's some big list management calls as well. I don't want to see another Dylan Stevens on a 5-year deal, or a Zach Fisher on another 5-year deal, or a Griffin Logue.
And even retaining a Cam Zurhaar.
All right.
All of that. So the list management is the most crucial thing that they will do in the next 3 months.
OK, let's not dwell on the cellar dwellers. Let's have a look at the finalists. And Brisbane locked in a home final.
They did, but I've got concerns about them. And the most important stat in football is accuracy. And I want to go through some things. I trust this man, Jesse Hogan. So let's look at the sides going into September. I trust this man. Every time he goes back, I think he's going to kick 8 out of 10. So he's not going well. And this was 2 weeks ago. We all think, has Cam Rayner made it? But this cost them the game last week. Cam Rayner, and then there was Bailey straight after. Couldn't put them away. So this is a big issue for the Brisbane Lions. There's no way to sugarcoat that it costs them. They can't get it right. It's happened a number of years. And let's take a look at their season this year. And this is now 11 games where they've kicked more behinds than goals, and it's cost them 6 games of football. So they can't win it, TJ. They've done this for years in finals where they don't handle the moment. They miss the big shots, and enough to cost them again this year.
Lachie Neale is watching us in Brisbane at the moment. Are you going to repeat all this to Lachie?
I'll say it to him, and I think he'd agree.
OK. Well, I don't think he will.
I don't think he'll agree that they can't win it, but I don't think they can shy away from this.
All right, Lachie Neale to join us after the break, but plenty to get through before then.
Yeah, and Essendon's season fell away dramatically again for the 2nd year in a row, and Dyson's going into...
that was the right call?
Well, I don't think his form would have been great, Lordo. And they still had a chance to make finals had they won the last 2 games, and they didn't. We know that. But
so Jake Kelly, you're happy?
Well, that's... If you're going to get down to Jake Kelly or Dyson Heppel, there's probably a decision to make.
I think there was countless players that, he should have played, and he proved it last
So it was heartless?
I thought it was a poor decision.
You did say that in the week in question too.
Yeah. And I don't think it's about just Dyson, it's about the rest of the club and how they view how you treat your champions, which I don't think was the right thing.
I think there's bigger problems than what happened to Dyson Heppel, though.
But it might add to, add to where
we're at. 2 years now under the David Barham leadership of pledging to change this club, and the 2 years we've had under his watch. I know he doesn't coach the team, but it's no different to the season in which they sacked Ben Rutten. OK,
the other end of the spectrum, of course, the Sydney Swans, who again appear to be doing everything right.
Yeah, they claimed the minor premiership, TJ, even though it wasn't a question. I just thought they got their run and gun game going back last night. They are so dangerous when they get their handball game going, and this is what we're highlighting here. It's the second quarter where they kicked 6 goals to 1. Essentially, that was the difference in the game. Luke Parker, another 3 goals last night. He cemented his place in the first finals. I'm worried about Taylor Adams with the ins that are coming back for Sydney, including Papley, so I think Adams is the one to drop out. But they were running and covering the ground as well as they had earlier on in the season. It was Warner, it was Goulden, and it was Blakey who went forward and kicked 2 goals late with his run and gun. So, yeah, they're going to be a real danger, clearly. The best team in it right now, over 24 weeks.
Let's talk further about Luke Parker. Did he kick those 3 goals? Everybody's talking about he's kicked 3 the last couple of weeks. Mills has come back in and played behind the football, so he hasn't been through the midfield that much as well. So they've backed the midfield in and they've gone either end with these 2 stars that they have that have come in late in the season. And Parker just has there's no question. He just plays because he can kick 3, he can kick 4, he can go into the middle if they want. But you feel like it's Taylor Adams, which would be mightily unlucky for a player that missed the grand final last year and is a pretty good guy.
And that was the reason he left. But I just don't think that he's in their best side. McInerney comes back, Papley comes back, Parker's clearly going to pick himself, and then he gives you some more flexibility to go forward. If you need him to go centre bounce and have an impact there, he can. So I think Adams will be the unlucky one to miss
The only
out.
question I'd say is, do you pick 2 players who've been out for a while? So in McInerney and Papley, is 2 too many, or do you say we've got a limit, we've got a second chance?
It's a no-brainer to me, Lordo. They both walk straight back in. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if you think there's some robust views here on the panel so far this morning, stick it around because we've still got what caught my eye to come, and the gloves will be off there for sure. Hey, Geelong. They didn't rewrite the record books. They did get a very healthy percentage. And, Lordo, you talk about goal kickers that you trust and don't trust. Well, Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah, 9 goals, 1, and it was the old school full forward. Like, he wasn't thinking of anything but kicking 10. Fill your boots time. It's one of those days where you just go, I'm on here.
Danger was looking for him. Lordo.
No, that you do. You just go, boys, get out. Let's clear out the 50 and give it to me. And they were sort of, he was jumping out in front of players. But as I said, he doesn't waste. And some of this one, that was one of the great contested matches.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a special day by Jezza.
So let's talk about Geelong and their run to September, because it's been a fairly easy run towards September. So these are the 5 clubs they've played. Fremantle, the best of those, obviously, but it is a softish run into September, and I still have concerns about their midfield. Does anybody think Geelong can win the flag?
Well, you said last week they're the worst team in the 8.
I didn't say they're the worst team in the 8. I don't think that their midfield can get the job done in September when Patrick Dangerfield's still their number 1 player. Tom Stewart's had to go into that midfield, so you take him out a half back. I said you'd do a monumental effort if Chris Scott and that side could pull it off. It would be the best effort of the 8 sides who are going to fight out September.
You said they were the worst team in the 8.
So they cannot win it?
I don't think Geelong can win it with their midfield.
Yeah, I'd be worried about their ruck and midfield as well, Brownie.
So we're down to 6 so far because Brisbane can't win it, Geelong can't win it.
Damo,
I think they can both. I think they can both win it. I think a team can win it from outside the top 4, including Hawthorn. Jared Schofield's interim coaching of the West Coast Eagles had a good patch in rounds 21 and 22. They won against Gold Coast and North Melbourne in those weeks, but a bad loss last week to Carlton at home, and then a dreadful loss by 93 points yesterday to the Cats. He will be in the mix, TJ. I expect him to nominate for the application to go through the process at the Eagles. I don't expect him to get it, but it won't have helped his cause. It's just in the way that the perception works when an interim coach has those bad losses in the last 2 games.
Is there a front runner at the moment?
I still feel, TJ, and I did report during the week that I know that the question will be asked again of Dean Cox. I know he publicly said he was out a month ago. He's got obviously major responsibilities at the Sydney Swans. Once their season is over, that question will be revisited, and it's up to him to say no again, but it will be asked of him again.
OK, a day at the MCG yesterday for Richmond fans, and it was a day of emotions, not just because of the scoreboard.
No, but we're just going to go into this.
Oh, what? What, straight off the bat?
Before we get into the nice stuff.
Oh,
okay? We're going to pay tribute to the nice stuff.
It was an emotional day yesterday for a Tigers fan.
I thought they did it really well. Well done, the fans. We'll get to that in a minute. And Damo, you're going to handle the nice sort of stuff. But, geez, I had to laugh.
This must be bad.
Honestly, I had to laugh when I saw this. So the worst season in club history, and Richmond have waited until round 24 to start flying the flag. There's Big Nank. He was at it with wits all day. There's punches, there's Mantle. McIntosh was giving free kicks off the ball. Look at this. Look at this. 4 minutes left in the season of the worst season in club history when you've won 2 games. You've got a percentage of 63. I mean, even the Giants, when they were school kids, won 2 games for the year. And Richmond have started to do this with 4 minutes left on the clock. I was laughing. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
how many minutes?
4 minutes left in the whole of the season. A season they've won 2, they started to fly the flag. Oh, it was tough lot. Just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. But then it was good because they hung around and
they did. I'll get to the nice stuff now. We'll get to the nice stuff now.
4 minutes left.
Hard to argue.
It is hard to argue.
Yeah.
The nice stuff, though, it did come in the form of the emotion that spilled over on a few fronts, actually. You see Dylan Grimes next to him, Marlon Pickett as well. And he did, by Dusty standards, love what happened here. He got emotional when he spoke with Jack Revolt. He got very emotional when he embraced a former confidant of his in Wayne Campbell post-match. And it was a Dusty we normally and have not seen at all, TJ.
Well, the realisation obviously set in about what this club and what these supporters actually mean to him. And I don't care how many times you look at his record, it is astounding, isn't it?
Amazing.
That CV.
And even when he came down the race and he was shedding tears and that, but it made me think how we're going to miss Dustin Martin. These players don't come around very often, and we're never going to see him again. So what a rare player.
Do you consider him the greatest Richmond player ever?
I do.
I think with the record that he's put together, dragging Richmond out of 30 years of the doldrums, what he's been able to do in the big games. I know Richmond had that unbelievable era in the 60s and 70s. They had some fantastic players. Kevin Bartlett would be right up there, but I think he's
Royce
their
Hart.
greatest ever player.
Yeah.
Well, you look at that era of the 70s, like, you know, sort of like Roger Dean, Royce Hart, Kevin Bartlett, Francis Bird.
Unbelievable
It
players.
goes on and on and on and on and on.
And you were the most influential player for 10 weeks as well.
Thanks, Kane.
The most expensive for 10 weeks. Anyway, that's why Dusty was crying for fear that Kane might actually find a reason to bowl Kano, something that happened in that match. Let's talk about Friday night at the MCG. This was Collingwood and Melbourne, and this was a dead rubber in every sense.
It was, TJ. 275 uncontested possessions for Collingwood. It was bruise-free sort of stuff for Melbourne, and Nick Dacos was the one who potentially won his first Brownlow medal with this performance. Now this could have been my volcano. I don't know how much notice to take of social media, but I'm starting to see a fair amount of criticism for Nick Dacos from jealous supporter groups that don't follow Collingwood.
Oh, who cares what they think, Kane?
I just want to put that out there. If you are critical of this player, all you are is jealous. So we just spoke about Dustin Martin. We're going to miss him. Let's enjoy what this guy's doing. Now, is he the perfect footballer? Does he really attack the footy
Close to
100%
it.
every time? Maybe not.
But
You need to get off social media.
Asking the question, I'm seeing a lot of criticism of Nick Dacos
Hey,
from
why
jealous,
are you bringing that to the table?
jealous
Kane,
supporters.
I've got some breaking
No, but
news.
no, TJ.
People on social media criticise.
No, I understand that, but I get that. But I do talk about radio a lot. I see the text message come through on the radio machine. I see callers ring up. Nick Dacos this, Nick Dacos that. All you are is jealous. You're right. He's near on the perfect footballer at 21 years of age. What he's done this year has been extraordinary. He's as good at first 3 years as we've seen from anyone. And if he wins the Brownlow medal, I'm going to celebrate it like we should.
Splash some more of Peter's cologne,
The
maybe.
remarkable season that it's been. And he would be a worthy winner.
Yep. Now, the Cozzy Pickett bump that was the storyline out of the game too on Darcy Moore. I've got a view of this that...
Against the Gold Coast Suns, I was expecting a really good finish to the season, but it was pretty ordinary. I think they checked out. Nick Dacos, you wonder how he had 40 disposals. Here he is, started half forward, Salem was half back, and this is the effort they put in. Have a look at Ed Allen here, who's on the show later, just stepped through 3 or 4 tackles. Now, I told you Salem was on Nick Dacos, so here's Christian Salem and here's Nick Dacos. So you'd have to pick him up at some point. The best player in the competition, I'm just going to let him run straight past me and then wonder why he had 40 disposals. He missed this goal, but the writing's on the wall. Here he is again, on his own, inside forward 50 at a stoppage. He gets this ball out to his brother. He doesn't kick a goal, but the writing's on the wall already. Melbourne are really off in this game. Have a look at this. Max Gawn is here. You've got a host of players. You're probably hoping that Tom McDonald's going to go third man up, goes into the pocket, and Tom McDonald's is standing there doing nothing, and his opponent takes an easy mark. So you wonder how this thing happens. And then this is late. This is just 4 tackles that are broken to give Ed Allen his first goal. I mean, that is pretty soft stuff from the Demons. And there was only one side that turned up the play, and that was the Pies.
And Ed Allen will join us on the handball a little later
That's
on.
what I said.
Did you say that, did you? Did he say that?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Oh, right. I just wanted to reinforce the fact Ed Allen will join us on the handball.
Who?
Ed Allen will join us on the handball a little later on. Hey, I know that, you know, as 8 teams focus on September, the rest will actually focus on 2025. So Craig McRae's already come out saying, look, we need a key forward. What do Melbourne need?
Well, you can have a poor season, but when there's a smell coming out of the club like Melbourne...
That's the cologne.
The cologne. This is a dirtier smell than, I think, than Peter Dacos' smell. This is a smell I haven't liked for a while. And you look at it, let's take a look at Melbourne. And I think it's not around getting them back to their best. You wonder, are they right for us still? So you have to look at, did our culture let these guys down, or are they the problem? So you've got to weigh.
Do you lock them both in to stay?
I would move on Oliver if I could, because I've lost a bit of trust in him from the outside. Petrarca, I would back in for the year, but I'd also give him a talking to and say, Christian, mate, yes, I've had the same injury as Christian. Yes, but it didn't affect me. I know everyone gets affected differently, but he's got to also go, OK, I've had my beef with the club. They're not letting me go. I've got to get on with it. So I think they have to have the hard conversation with him. Simon Goodwin's game style has had the same game style for 4 years. He needs to evolve, and if he doesn't evolve, they have to challenge him hard, the board, to say, are you the right man to take it? Sell to us why we should go ahead with you next year.
Are you convinced he is?
I'm not sure he has the nous at the moment to go ahead. Because
So is there a decision in your eyes to be made about him?
I would consider, yes, whether
Really?
Simon's right. I'm sure they'll go with him, but that's my opinion.
Key forward?
A key forward, yes. I don't, but their ball movement doesn't allow for forwards to thrive. And then also, I think, the challenge be laid down to these three men, Pert, Richardson and Goodwin, on where the club has been.
So you would like a change of coach at Melbourne round 1 next year?
If he can't sell to them the plan of where the game has evolved to, yes, I've been stuck in a certain way. We've got knocked out in the finals. I thought we could go again, but we've been found out. He needs to sell, I think, some hope and belief for what something's going to change to keep his job. Yeah.
OK, it's been a heavy half hour so far, so let's lighten things up, although I tend to think it's not necessarily going to be the case. I'm a little concerned here as... I beg your pardon?
There you go.
As we get set for what caught my eye.
Sorry, TJ. I was scrolling through Instagram and I was just thrilled when I saw this stat. I was actually thrilled. So this is the most accurate goal kicker since 2002. So our man Lordo sits on top by a mile. Like, we're all lauding Jesse Hogan. Like, look at that. He's clearly the best, most accurate goal kicker we've ever seen. So first thing I said, you know what, I'm thrilled for this. So I thought, I got to text Lordo. So I took a screenshot of the video and I texted to him, and I thought he'd be really happy. Like, thanks, Volcano. How good's this? Thanks for your support. The first thing he writes back is, I went at 74% in 01 as well. And here it is. Here is that season. So you were right. It was an oversight by the AFL not to include this. He kicked 100 during the finals. Look at it. This is prime time, actual prime time Lordo. And we're lauding Jesse Hogan for his 67 goals this year. Lordo, like, he doesn't get scenes like this, does he?
Why would they start at 02? That's what I just don't understand.
Kane, I was with Lordo on the Wednesday classified meeting on Wednesday when that viz board came through. He was filthy. So I can confirm what you said.
So I was texting you on an ad break at classified. That's how fired up I was.
OK, we're going to get a little political here because the Melbourne City Council elections are looming and there's a star-studded fielder. Aaron Wood, Nick Rees is the man at the moment. But Anthony Koutafidis has thrown his hat in the ring. He wants to be the Lord Mayor of Melbourne. Now, I did hear him on Tom Elliott through the week, and it seems there's going to be a lot of reviews happening under Anthony Koutafidis at the moment. Not a lot in the way of policy, but a lot of reviews are going on. But good luck to Cooter. His name alone will get him votes.
Are you confident?
Sorry?
You don't sound that confident in you.
I think there's a bit of work to do. There's a bit of work to do, but hang on, he's passionate, and that alone should get him some votes. Now, he's not the first sports person, of course, to dip his toe into the political waters.
You're not putting him in... He's not at this level, surely. I thought he handled himself well, but anyway, I digress.
On Tom Elliott?
Keep going, sorry.
No, I didn't say he didn't handle himself well. I'm just saying there's a lot of reviews as opposed to policies at the moment. But Mel Meninga, the rugby league great, decided to have a crack at politics. But it lasted, well, it didn't even last as long as this radio interview when he decided to pull the pin mid-air.
Why are you standing? A number of reasons. I guess throughout my sporting career, I've had the urge to do community work, and I think I've really worked hard on that aspect. My 16 years in Canberra, and the thing about that is that I was, I guess, a public figure, and I was put on on the podium where I was just a person out there, making sure that I was. I'm buggered. I'm sorry.
And he got up and that was it. That was the end of the campaign. He just got up and walked out.
That's nasty.
And I thought, hey, it gets worse.
Does it?
Remember when Billy was thinking about running for Parliament?
Oh, look, I've got to go away and have a good think about it, because honestly, that's what I'll do now. I've just got to talk to a few people and have a good think about it.
What are the big issues in North Geelong? Literacy with school children, drug abuse? What are the big issues in North Geelong?
Yeah, all those. But as you know, I haven't got a great feel of it, and that's what I've got to look at. So.
There's one thing you'd know, Billy. What's your position on the independence of the Auditor General?
Yeah, Toby? He does a very good job. So look, honestly, it was just a bit of a chat at coffee. Nothing great deal said up there, and we'll go from there.
What about the separation of powers? Do you endorse that at all, or?
Yeah.
Anyway, needless to say, Billy didn't stand. But of course, on the world stage as well, you thought you'd sort of get a little political when you channeled this great man.
We love in our country, Mother Russia. Shane, we've also got a sports bet top here with Croft number 9 on the back.
How do you reckon that went?
I'd forgotten about that. I completely forgot. The accent was good though, wasn't it? Did you like the accent?
Well, who were you supposed to be?
Vladimir Putin.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
You knew that. Oh dear, how am I going to follow that?
That was good, didn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Well, it took you a long time to get there, but it was good at the end. So the Olympics has just been, and I don't think there's been any more public-facing figures in the Olympics than James Bracey and Alison Langdon. So you were next in line as the most public-facing. So let's have a look at some of the work you did. There's obviously the umbrella, but then a lot of trackside stuff in these polos that you rotated but never gave back when you're asked to give them back. So you were the most public-facing person and all the big interviews for Tony Jones. So outside the two hosts, I thought we saw Tony Jones the most. So when I walked past the hallways of Channel 9 and I saw this, I thought, where is our man? The most public-facing role. I went through everybody and I could not, even McClure, he's on the end there down the right. He's not even in there. Not even in there. So
What did Sam McClure do?
I thought we needed to just adjust it and get you in there.
Good idea.
And they came up with this. So there you are at the back with the umbrella. There you are at the back. You've just been left out again. So
What happened?
what happened? Why aren't you in it?
Well, I'm just having a look at everyone in that photo. I think I was working the day they took the photo. Oh. Yeah, I don't have a lot of
So there was the photo of Leighton, whether you were off to the right, and now they're just not even off to the right, just out the door
Have you got a
completely.
punchline?
No, that was it.
It's an oversight.
Hey,
Just an oversight.
An oversight. Yes, thanks, Kane.
TV can present challenges to a lot of people, TJ, particularly for people shortish in height, as reporters who are interviewing tall people. Now, Tom Morris is shorter than Mason Cox, but he met that challenge this way by standing on a box for that particular interview, and it was smart. Now, TJ, you were at the Olympics and you interviewed James Tompkins, the champion Australian rower, member of the Awesome Foursome. I too interviewed James Tompkins at a function about a month ago, and I'm taller than you, and I was a lot beneath James Tompkins. He towered over me. So we went to the tape and we had a look at what James Tompkins actually does have by way of height. He's a 6'7" incher at 200 centimetres. So we then went back to the cutting room floor to see off air how that interview actually looked, TJ, and this is how it did unfold. And Lordo, I think I might need you to pick it up here because that was the punchline.
This is along the lines of your T-shirts you went with that time.
Hang on.
Come on, Damo.
Where are we going with
He's got to say no.
That's funny.
That's about the right height, TJ.
I'm pretty happy with mine, so I'm happy to pick this up. So last week we announced we've done a deal. We've got a pie sponsorship for our show, Paddy's Pies, and here it was last week.
Paddy's?
TJ fully respects that deal. He just hammered them. I think it was about 5 in that ad break.
Well, I try everything before we actually endorse it.
Yeah, you do try them, and you try them at home as well, by the looks, because
Sorry?
this is some after dark order, and now there is pure daylight, TJ. You have taken boxes and boxes.
We came back for more.
Look at your kangaroo.
No, I didn't. That's the one thing.
Birkenstocks.
We went out and you came back for more.
No, I didn't.
He overlooked them.
Why is the face blurred?
We just thought we'd try and protect you
It's
initially. And then I
embarrassing.
thought we'd just unleash you.
The jellyfish.
The jellyfish, but those pies were meant to go for the staff.
Yeah,
go in the
exactly.
in the
We all
oven.
insisted.
Stewie, come here.
Oh no!
Did you say, Tony?
For everyone.
Yes.
For everyone.
Right.
Yes.
Who resisted?
And you said
Stu?
you can
Who
take.
resisted?
Well,
Everyone.
Were you surprised, Stewie?
Alrighty. Well, there you go.
That pure daylight.
Have you handed back your Olympic outfits yet?
Why? Why is it an issue?
I thought you were meant to.
I don't have to hand back outfits.
I better not see them on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
You better
Did
not
you get a
be
message to say leave them in your hotel room?
You just worry about handing back your outfit, mate. Anyway, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. More in just a moment. Is that the quiz?
Yep.
Are they the answers?
They are.
Well, can you leave them there? Can I have a
No,
look at
I
those?
cannot.
I tell you what, the Brisbane Lions, the jury is out in the eyes of some people as to whether the Lions are the real deal leading into this year's final series. Let's take a look at the results from last night, and they certainly did everything they needed to do there, albeit withstanding a late challenge from Essendon. But Lordo, you cast a pretty keen eye over this. You've been casting a pretty keen eye over the Lions full stop. Lachie Neale's about to join us from Brisbane, but can you just recap what you said a little earlier and word for word?
Well, Lachie will see there as well that it's 11 goals, 21-87. And this isn't just an off week for the Brisbane Lions. This is more common.
You said you don't trust them.
I don't trust them. I trust them as a playing group, but not the finishing. And it's been too often for the Brisbane Lions, Lachie. So thanks for joining us this morning, Lachie. You were instrumental again, best on ground. But again, you guys made the game a tough one because of your goal kicking.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on, Lloydie. Been a trend the last 3 weeks. I think it was a bit of a trend probably the first 8 or 9 weeks of the season as well. And then we sort of fixed it up for 3 months. I thought we kicked pretty well, but it sort of reared its head again. We don't have our head in the sand. We know that it's a problem, and guys are doing a fair bit of work on it at training. And yeah, it needs to be better in a couple of weeks' time, because if we kick like that, it can cost you big games. But we've done it. We've turned it around in season this year. So hopefully it's just a little blip, little 3-week patch, and we can kick straight in a couple of weeks' time, because like I said, it's going to be important during the finals.
Just with that, like, how deep do you go into it? So do you kick under fatigue? How do you bring pressure to it? Like, what are some of the ways you can go about bringing game-like pressure to goal kicking?
Yeah, it's probably a bit harder at training. Obviously, you don't have the pressure of the result on the line and the crowd and things like that. So it is hard to replicate. But we have been doing a lot of goal kicking under fatigue, particularly set shots, because I feel like we're missing a lot of those that we should be kicking. And then we just try and put a little bit of something on the line, whether it's you pair up, and if you miss, you have to buy the other bloke lunch that day, just to try and put a little bit more of a price on it for guys. So little things like that certainly help. No one wants to be paying for 2 lunches.
I really want to talk about your form and a broader conversation about your career. I think it's one of the great stories in football. Only 4 players have won 3.
To be honest, I think I'm using the ball by foot better than I ever have. I'm still getting to work inside and being able to impact the game on the inside, but I think my outside game's improved this year. I think I've had a better year this year than I did last year, and I feel like I've worked through numerous situations throughout the year to have an impact on the game. So, yeah, certainly one of my better years, and I've always been one to believe that you try and improve on 1 or 2 things every year. No matter your age, I still feel like I can get better again next year. There's a couple of things that I'll work on in the off-season and pre-season to go again, and just keep trying to improve my game year on year. And, yeah, certainly feel this year's been one of my better years.
Look, it was a slowish start to the year for the Lions. Then you got on an almighty surge there for a while. Then lost 2 matches prior to last night by narrow margins, but they took you out of top 4 considerations. What's Chris Fagan been saying to you in the past week and even post-match about what now lies ahead for you?
Although a couple of results didn't go our way and we cost ourselves a top 4 chance, I think we've seen this season that anyone can beat anyone on their day, and we'll have to go the long road. But we're excited about that challenge, and we've got the first final at home. And like you said, the start of the year was less than ideal. So to end up 5th after all that happened at the start of the year is a very good effort. I'm so proud of the club, 6 years of finals in a row. I'm not sure if any other club's done that. Maybe Sydney or Geelong might be close. But, yeah, just our performances to pick ourselves up off the canvas and finish in the top 5 is a great effort by the group. And, yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully getting a win in the elimination final. And then for us, we've got to win the grand final away. So great opportunity to get a couple of games on the road if we can progress.
You're the leader of that midfield, but Oscar McInerney is the biggest guy in that midfield. Talk about Max Gawn, we talk about Tristan Sherry, maybe All-Australian, but it's hard to go past the form. I don't think I've ever seen him play a poor game. Where does he rate in your eyes?
Yeah, I love the Big O. He's a heart and soul player for us, a real energiser. He's a very humble and quiet guy off the field, and then turns into an animal on the field, and we love that about him. He's been enormous for us this year, shouldering basically the ruck load the whole year, and he's performed very well. I think he's probably been, as you said, in the top 2 or 3 rucks for the whole season. So we're very lucky to have him at our footy club, and he brings a lot.
Hey, Lockie, you touched on some players having to pay for 2 lunches. TJ's never paid for 1 in his time, so that's what we have to deal with here on the panel. Is that true?
When Lockie was saying that, I thought, thank God I don't play league football.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for an $11 suit, Lockie. That's how bad our man is. But the votes, you were brilliant. I loved your game. So you get the 8. Zach Merritt, I thought, was very good for the Bombers, 7. Hugh McCluggage gets a 7, and Charlie Cameron started the game like a house on fire.
Now, I'm not entirely sure what's more thrilling for you this morning, Lockie. The fact that Kane has anointed you as the next legend of the game, or you're about to get a prize back.
If you win,
Lockie is the first person you've ever actually pumped up.
That's not true at all.
Name another.
TJ. Hawthorn all year.
Dacos, we just heard too.
Yeah.
Dacos.
Yeah.
Chad, Josh Rochelle.
Chad. Tex. Lockie, this is a great prize pack for you. You're off to Gumbaya World, where water slides, thrill rides and wildlife
Watch out for the quackers, though. The quackers
Unlimited
bite.
access with a family pass, thanks to the team at Gumbaya World. There it is there. There's the mini J-Buds, thanks to J-Lab. They're true wireless and pack over 5 hours of play time. The Clutch & Co. I think you love your golf, so you'll be best dressed on the golf course with a quarter zip top and pants from Clutch & Co. And we'll also kit you out in Cat Star Brad Close's clothing brand. Be Close, your swing, your style. Also a box of Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap, thanks to our great mates at Callaway. There it is there. And the Travis Matthews hats as well. 2 hats for the playing group, thanks to Travis Matthews. The True Linkswear golf shoes, they're so good you want to wear them everywhere. TrueLinkswear.com.au. The scroll up to the bar fridge is there. Custom design. Your own bar fridge. Look good in your pool room. The Aquila's premium quality footwear since 1958. And then we move on to the Cookie Box, as Melbourne's finest artisan cookie shop. Treat yourself to a special delivery thanks to Cookie Box. Now, a meal also at Platform 28. It is the best pub in Docklands. Make sure you book in for Father's Day as well at Platform 28. The Rick's Eyewear, check them out, rickseyewear.com.au, and elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath.
Unbelievable prize pack. So what do you do this week, Lockie? Do you have a lighter week, or is it a week as normal? How do you plan the week?
Yeah, we do it a little bit differently this week. So we'll basically have a day on, day off. So I think we're off again tomorrow, and then we'll train Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then roll into the following week and do our normal week leading into the finals. So it's exciting. The guys get a bit of a mental break over the next few days, and then get a bit of training loads in and prepare for another final series. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for giving us some of your time this morning, Lock, and all the very best as you head into September.
No worries. Thanks very much. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, good work, Lockie. Neil joining us there.
So just during that, I noticed you were eating a pie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Is that part of the sponsorship deal? And do you think it's respectful to eat a pie mid-interview or not?
Well, mate, I just thought while you were spending 15 minutes telling Lockie how he's going to win the Brownlow and sort of become the next legend, I thought I might have time to actually have one of our sponsors' products.
Disrespectful.
Yeah,
Sorry?
just a touch disrespectful.
Is it? You're lecturing me on disrespect? I think we better take a break.
Look at him.
Look at him. Mate, I'm sorry. Don't have any more of that cologne. You're as high as a kite
Just
at the
wait
moment.
until 12 o'clock and we can eat then.
Hey? When have you ever eaten? All right, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. The quiz next.
Brownie's quiz is right up next. Big hits on the back of Dan Houston.
Okay.
The Sunday Footy Show. Time for everybody's favourite segment, Brownie's Quiz, brought to you by Sportsbet, where we get some home viewers. $500 is on the line. Damo, who are you playing for?
Janet Code, Ballarat. Brownie.
Krista George in Fulham Gardens, SA.
Isaac Haber from Sunshine West in Victoria.
And Teresa Allen from Burnie in Tasmania.
Okay, so you're all playing for $500 thanks to Sportsbet. On the back of Dan Houston's big hit last week, we are talking big hits. So the big hitters. And question number 1. Which kangaroo big hitter got reported 17 different times?
Okay, well, I'm only going on the fact that kangaroo big hitter Glenn Archer.
Glenn Archer is correct. Off to a good start, Tony. Well done. Question number 2.
I'm quitting now.
Who is the only VFL AFL player in history to face police?
Thanks, Chompers.
Lee Matthews after the Neville Bruns incident in Geelong.
Lee Matthews is it. Off to a flyer.
No, because I don't normally accuse you, but you did. I've never have.
reference the
I've never
answers.
have.
Kane
But
has.
you
I
did
have.
happen to peek over earlier. when you're playing with
Very good.
Geez, you've been sharp. I'd never do that except today when
Honesty.
Can I tell you, I expected more.
Okay.
I'm not angry. I'm just really disappointed.
Which Norm Smith medalist?
Chad would have smashed
Byron
him.
Pickett.
Incorrect. Did Mark Rasciuto clean up?
Chad would have smashed him.
Yeah, come on, that's me.
That was Tony.
Nathan Brown.
What's right? I felt like I was nude.
Dean Kemp is correct. Famous faces. Here are all the famous faces. Lordo.
We're going to have to go Vossi, please, Brownie.
Here you go, Vossi. -1, Damo. Poor start. Sportsbet Sunday stat question. Who did Michael Long clean up in the 2000 Grand Final?
Troy Simmons.
Troy Simmons. The Snake, he certainly did. Famous faces question. Which Norm Smith medal winner laid
Chad
out?
would have smashed him.
Byron Pickett.
Byron Pickett
He got
is
there.
correct. Famous faces.
Lordo.
Geez, I love Durham. I really like Durham.
How much?
-3.
He doesn't like you.
Bad luck.
I deserve that.
All right. Which big hitter did North Melbourne defender Scott Thompson knock over?
I felt like I was nude.
Barry Hall while tying his shoelaces.
Yes.
One of the biggest hits we've ever seen.
Thanks, Choppers. Chop.
Barry Hall on Saker.
Oh,
Saker.
that's funny because I've crossed out that question. I have crossed out the very next question.
No, this is amazing.
Have a look at the question.
What are you implying?
He said 2 words.
You don't think that's one of the biggest hits we've ever seen?
Maybe you haven't got to
There's
that
been
yet.
plenty.
Can you read the
come
first
on.
few words?
No, hang on a minute.
Speaking of Barry Hall,
No,
who got dropped by one of his...
No, but you hadn't. But what were the first few words you said?
One of the biggest hits.
Which big hitter did North
Which
Melbourne
big?
defend?
You went which big, and you went.
You name me a bigger hit.
This is not on.
Anyway.
Hang on, did I get the point or not?
No, you didn't.
So what was the
-1.
-1.
One of the biggest hits we've ever seen by Michael Voss was on. Alan Richardson is correct. Famous faces question. Jordan Lewis famously came back on the
I felt
ground
like I was nude.
Nathan Eagleton.
after one of the biggest hits in history, -1. Who got him?
Was it Harbrow?
Harbrow is correct. Famous faces. I think we might need...
Hang on.
Kane.
Sorry.
He said, was it Harbrow? And you went to him, and then he said the same question.
Sorry, I thought you'd already asked. Kano.
Has to be me. Kane.
Let's go with
Lordo. Go Lordo.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett. +3, Kano.
Nathan, can I just... Nathan?
No, you can't because you'll lose a point.
Sorry, if Tim Watson's looking for more content, you just said that answer is correct.
Did he? Well,
You actually said that answer is correct.
Mate, you haven't had a great day yourself, to be honest, so far.
This is on the back of Easable.
Oh, shut up.
We're losing the point.
What is
You've had a
correct?
poor day. You've had a really poor
Let's
day.
see if I can get one correct.
All right. In 2004, which former dog was cleaned up in an
Chad
act
would have
of...
smashed him.
Brett Montgomery.
Incorrect. It was an act of thuggery by breakfast radio host Brendan Favola.
I felt like I was nude.
Yeah, it's you, Nathan. I just got him first.
Lordo?
Nathan
Esma.
Brown.
Okay. All right. Who am I? Let's have a
we were
look.
put off by the
-1.
fact that you were in a
3,
contest.
2, 0. Tony Jones.
Not bad, teacher.
I'll start pulling out the vision of you running in that white T-shirt next to Tom Brown soon. You want that one out again? Yeah. Oh,
I don't mind.
yes, you do. You really mind.
No, you're quite correct.
I was a premiership player in the 2010s. I played for 3 clubs in my career for 4 points.
Thanks, Choppers.
I was going to go Scotty Cummins.
Incorrect.
What's right?
I've got to go Martin Pike.
Incorrect. I flattened Mitch Duncan with a bump in
I felt like I was
2016.
nude.
It is.
Time him out.
Richmond
Time him
player.
out.
How long?
Time
Incorrect.
him out.
I love eating sausages.
Mumford came.
Yeah, I don't need to answer it. There's no risk here. I don't know.
Kano wins. Kano wins $500. Who
Yeah,
to?
let's go to Chris DeGeorge in Fulham Gardens, SA.
Well done. $500 coming your way. Thanks to Sportsbet. 9.com/Brownies quiz. But there's a real issue, Tony. When I change the question and you get in really early on that question.
Investigations.
No.
investigation.
Well, first, you can investigate all you like, mate, but there is a law called defamation as well.
You cheated.
Damo, you're pretty good with this stuff. What do you think, Damo?
What do you think?
Look, I'm the only one out of the 4 of us who haven't accused you of it, but I'm shaking. I'm waiting. I'm not yet, but that was a
Sorry, Luke Beveridge just walked in.
I haven't accused you of it.
David Rees-Jones, Barry Hall had the +1, Lordo had a steal.
Yeah.
Run on, and then Lethal Lee had the +2.
That was
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back right after this on the Sunday Footy Show.
The Sunday Footy Show is powered by Patty's Pies. Sink your teeth into it and celebrate something special. Back to you, Tony.
The great Peter Hitchener there, and the pies are hot, let me tell you. How come you haven't had yours so far? Mind you, folks, can I just tell you also, we're 1 hour and 1 minute into this show, and Nathan just asked our floor manager for a rundown. What have you been doing for the past hour and 1 minute?
Just going off the cuff.
All right, we'll do it again because we're about to look at the next match. And take us through this one because this was the Sydney Swans up against the Crows, and the Swans sealing the deal when it comes to being minor premiers.
Yeah, it may have been easy for them to rest some of their star players. They really didn't do that. McCartan didn't play, but everyone else played and played pretty well, so they'll be feeling good about themselves. It's going to take a pretty special team to go up there in the first week of the finals and knock them off. Their run was going. Warner, your man Damo, was back to his best. Gordon was sensational. Brownie, and the Lizard was running right.
Yeah, he is, and I feel like they've just got their mojo back a little bit, the Sydney Swans, at the right time. And when you can do what he does, 32 disposals from the back end, but more importantly, went forward and kicked 2 goals. So he's a special player because he can play on a small, he can play on a tall, and this guy could light up September. I mean, we talk about Warner and Heaney, and then you got this guy who could be just as good, spoken about in the same light as these guys. He's going to be hard to stop come September.
Yeah, you could easily see him winning a North Smith medal, couldn't you? Just destroying a team on the MCG in grand final day. Here's the votes, all the big guns really, apart from Parker, who's done a great job to cement himself in, but Gordon was terrific. And Warner, the first quarter, brilliant from them, and the Lizard Blakey also, pretty even performance.
Geelong and the West Coast Eagles, this was an opportunity for the Cats to make a statement heading into September and also bump up their percentage, and they did both.
They did. They were 100 points up at half-time, 26 goals for the game, 9 of them to Jeremy Cameron. Ollie Henry could have kicked 5 or 6 in the first quarter. He had 3, missed a couple, ended up with 4 for the game, and Holmes was very good, Dangerfield as always, but it was a pretty ordinary game in the end.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Ollie Henry. You kicked 4 goals, 4, as you just touched on. Bremen first, Hawke and O'Neill next, Myers close. So he's a tricky matchup. He's got so much talent. He hasn't quite reached it yet.
Kicked 40 goals last year, Lotto, and a team that didn't make the 8 in his first season for that club. Hasn't worked for him this year, but he's got the ability. I know they rate him so highly, and I know he's had some injury issues this year too. So maybe the round 24 performance might just be the foreteller to what's happening in the next month of footy.
Let's look at the votes from yesterday. Jeremy Cameron kicked 9 goals. You have to get a 10 for doing that. Holmes was good. Bowes through the midfield, and Henry was pretty good.
We are taking a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. When we come back, it is the most popular segment on the Sunday Footy Show, Lordo's Deep Dive.
Sure about that, but bad blood. You know, Chris, what's that?
What is?
The quiz?
Geez, I think the volcano might be right.
Yeah,
very, very good. But it's around the bad
Tony's
blood
time
we're
capsule?
hearing between Melbourne and Christian Petrarca. So bad blood between players and their clubs over the years.
Okay, and Footy Show panellists. That's all coming up next, right here on the Sunday Footy Show.
It is that time of year where there can be a bit of tension between player and club and movement, and Christian Petrarca centred around that over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to look at that for the deep dive today. And one, which was a famous one, was the Shaw name at Collingwood is synonymous, and Heath Shaw fell out with Nathan Buckley, and here's Heath Shaw talking about that in the aftermath.
I was definitely pushed out. Didn't see myself ever leaving Collingwood. Have I mended those relationships? No. There's certain people that I won't, and I don't really want to.
Is Buckley one of them?
Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't ring him up and say hello, and I don't know if I'd answer his call if he rang me. I'm probably not his cup of tea, and he's probably the same.
Does it make you sad, though?
No, it doesn't.
They did progress after I left, of course, and slowly downhill for 5 years straight. I think he was the one who had the issue with us because we got the ultimate glory. It's those two have got something in common, Bucks and Nick Rewell. They're not premiership players. That's probably they're hanging out and talking to each other. That's why us three are hanging together, because we're premiership players.
Fair to say, still a bit of tension there between those guys. TJ let loose, didn't he?
I've never seen that.
I've not seen that before. That's what's Buck say about that? You work with him?
He's pretty respectful. Yeah, he doesn't bite back.
No.
Derek Kickett and Kevin Sheedy. So Derek Kickett had played every game for the last 2 seasons, was dropped for the grand final and then was at Sydney the next season. So didn't play in the 1993 grand final. Was a magical player, Derek Kickett, but left out of the grand final and went on to say, I hate Kevin Sheedy's guts. And Damo, you wrote an article about it.
Yeah, we did, Brownie. I was actually working in Sydney in that year in question when Ron Brassi was coach, and he went there and he said, I will make a statement on the week we play Essendon, and that was the statement he made. I hate his guts.
Was that your story?
Yeah, it was a huge issue at the time, and he wanted to get it off his chest. And then they took many, many years. It was the best part of, I think, 20 years, wasn't it?
2018.
There you go. More than 20 years before they actually got together and patched it up and moved on.
Oh, this was a huge story at Adelaide in 1996 when Malcolm Blight came in to coach the Adelaide Football Club. He sacked 3 legends. So here's Blighty when he was announced as coach. He's speaking about the players having to pay the price of what led to the coaching sacking and the performance. And then these are the 3. Andrew Jarman, Tony McGuinness, who was captain at the time, and Chris McDermott, who was the inaugural captain of Adelaide, all sacked when Malcolm Blight walked in. And it wasn't Blighty who told them, it was John Reid, the footy manager, who told them. And yeah, of course, in the end, Malcolm Blight was justified because they win in 1997 and 1998. But this is the Footy Show vision of the 3 after they were told their careers were done.
What are the relationships now?
I think frosty for a long time. Long time. And there's Chris McDermott struggled to go back to the club. Tony McGuinness the same. And Andrew Jarman now, who we've had on our program a number of times. But I think time heals some wounds. But yeah, I still think there's a bit of angst there.
This one's a bit of a compilation where 3 guys have gone on and played premiership since they left there or become premiership players. Jake Lever, Stephen May and Tom Lynch. But here's Taylor Walker and Tony Cochran speaking about those players after they left their clubs.
I don't think I was arrogant, aggressive towards him. I was probably blunt. And I think it's pretty much him choosing money over success.
Amazing move, Tony, to get rid of your 2 best players, Tom Lynch and Stephen May.
Well, yes, of course, they've gone away to find success, and so far between them, well, one of 6.
Thursday night.
So it's come back to bite those 2. Tex Walker, he said he was going for money over success, but Jake Lever has become a premiership player. Tony Cochran was laughing at Lynch and May that they hadn't won too many games at the start of their careers, but Lynchy become a premiership player, and so did Stephen May. So those moves are justified in the end for those guys.
What about this, Stoush? I don't know if this one's ever been resolved because the 2 blokes involved... well, they don't take a backward step, that's for sure. Mick Malthouse and Brad Hardy. Now, Brad Hardy, having won the Brownlow in 1985 under the tutelage of Mick Malthouse at Footscray, as it was then. And then in 1986, well, it all turned pear-shaped there because there were no smiles from Mick or Brad for that matter. It was in the final game of the season when Mick dragged Brad Hardy, and on the boundary line, Brad was none too pleased about that, ripped off his jumper, sort of waved it above his head towards Mick, and the next year went on to play with the Brisbane Bears, but no love lost there whatsoever. And I don't know if there ever has been a reconciliation as such. Mick or Brad might text me, actually.
No, I think you're right, TJ, and there hasn't been a reconciliation, as far as I know, of a proper nature between the 2 people I'm about to refer to, our own Nathan Brown and Luke Darcy, who I work with on Friday nights on Triple M, and there is still tension between what happened way back in 2003 when Nathan Brown chose to leave Luke Darcy and the Bulldogs and go to Richmond, and you'll see how fiery this got.
And Nathan Brown from the Bulldogs. He's at the Bulldogs at the moment. You don't know where he's next year, do you?
Yeah, well, actually, just on that, Nate, a decision
tell us,
made.
We'll keep to ourselves.
It's been a busy weekend, so haven't really had much to...
The Richmond scarf, that was from Benny Gale.
I can't wait to play against Brownie. I'm sure the feeling's mutual. I think he'll probably be a bit more nervous. A few blokes will be desperate to get their hands on him. Once you cross the white line, it's on. It's war, and he's part of the opposition now. From his point of view, I think he'd be probably rapt that he's playing us first up and can get out of the way.
It was exciting. It was really exciting, and nobody took a backward step. We won the game. Everyone was pretty respectful on the night, as you do. I mean, when you play football, everybody gets out there and does their best, but it was a good win and it was good to have first up.
Was there, I'm not sure there were mobile phones back then, but were there text exchanges and all that sort of stuff?
No, I sent a few out and I got nothing back. But we're friends again now, obviously, but didn't speak to me for 2 years. So 2 years to put a ban on speaking to me.
Who for? What, him not talking to Das or Das not talking to him?
Him not talking to Das.
How do you get on with Das these days?
He didn't miss much.
Did you see Das at the football on Friday night?
No, I didn't.
Do you want to go there again, do you?
But you're okay, aren't you? With that?
I thought you patched it up. Didn't you meet each other in the gym?
We had a chat in the gym,
Yeah, I thought it was all good again.
It's good.
Clearly.
What do you think, Lordo?
Well, because I think I've missed that one on the deep dive. I think
No, that's a whole segment next week. That's a whole segment next week.
Media.
Imagine if we did
media feuds.
No, just feuds with you. We would actually go 3.5 hours. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. More in just a moment.
We're here at the pub at Crown, and ahead of Father's Day, we're chatting to someone who's heading into their first Father's Day as a dad in Luke Bruce. Luke, 2024 has been a big year for you with the birth of your daughter, Freya Violet.
Yes.
Just how has that changed life for you?
A little bit more caffeine, a few more afternoon naps on the couch. She's been a little angel for us, to be honest. Yeah, she feeds really well, she sleeps well, and she's fit into our life seamlessly. So yeah, fortunately for us, she's been awesome.
Has little Freya been to a game yet, or is she just still a little bit too little?
Yeah, so the first game was actually going to be the Dustin Martin 300 game against Richmond, and I was like, okay, no, that's probably a bad idea. It'd be a little bit too loud, but she's been to 2 since. She's actually been into a couple of team meetings with Sam as well. Sam must mesmerise her up the front. I think she's been on my lap, and for both team meetings has not said boo at all. And Sam was like, do you even make a noise, Freya? Like, she's just been, I think she's been mesmerised by the whiteboard and Sam speaking out the front. So to show her things like that when she gets a little bit older would be pretty special.
What's been the best thing about being a dad?
The goos and gars and the noises she's starting to make and the big smiles she's given us now in that first part of the day, and just watching Anthea interact with her and play with her and feed her and things like that has just been, it's been an amazing feeling for me, and just so happy that I'm the father of her and that I get to experience all this with her.
Have you got plans for your first Father's Day?
Not as yet, I don't know. Well, not that I know of. I'm sure Anthea's got something planned for me, but one of my favourite things to do is still just go out for brekkie and get a coffee and have a few cuddles with Freya.
Heading into this season, could you ever have foreseen that you would potentially be playing finals?
The group was building last year. In the back end of the year, we had some really strong wins. You knock off Brisbane, you knock off Collingwood, who were 2 grand finalists from last year. So the belief starts to build and the confidence in the group is getting there, and we're sticking to the game plan and things like that. But then you start this season zipping 5, and it's hard to sort of rally the troops and continue to show up. So didn't imagine that finals would be a possibility. But now that we're here, we're going to make the most of it. We're certainly riding that momentum and the belief at the moment, and really looking forward to what we can do in the next 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, great stuff there. Hawthorn's Luke Bruce there, enjoying his first Father's Day with little Freya there. And of course, if you are still thinking about something to do with your dad next Sunday, which is Father's Day, why not head on down to Crown? And don't forget, the Crown is your finals destination come this September. And if you haven't been to have you been to the pub down there?
No, not yet.
That's a great setup there. They've got the booths and all the rest of it, so you can go in there, just an intimate group and sort of whatever you want on the plasma. It's a great setup. But anyway, whatever you do next Sunday, do it with your dad and enjoy it. Maybe Freya could have been the X factor there in that win over North Melbourne yesterday, sitting in on the team meeting.
Yeah, they stormed home, didn't they, TJ, yesterday down in Tassie. 124-point win in the wet, and they did it like they've done it for the majority of the year. There was no real one standout, albeit John Newcombe. I know you've spoken about him, Lordo. You did that on Wednesday night on Classified about his performance and how strong he's been through the midfield. D'Ambrosio, Brownie, one of the recruits of the year, and Dillamore and Watson and McDonald and the usual suspects kicked all the goals.
Let's talk about D'Ambrosio, because he was on the Essendon list and he's gone to the wing at Hawthorn and playing some amazing football, and he is a lot harder than what people think. I watched this guy and the way he was able to pick the football, and I think he's a deserving All-Australian out in that wing this year. He's been brilliant.
All right, let's talk about Hawthorn generally. How far can they go in September? I mean, what are they doing right that is going to put the fear of the proverbial into the other clubs?
Well, the game's in good order. So number 1 defence, basically number 1 or number 2 in offence. So that's put you in pretty good stead. I guess my only concern, Lordo, would be, are they 1 key defender short? And they're going to address that at the end of the year. So they're clearly aware of it.
And there might be 2 players coming in,
Battle
and Barris.
Yeah, and that's not going to help them now. So can Frost and Scrimshaw and the like hold up, and Sicily with a dodgy shoulder? That would be my only worry for them in September.
Yeah, and also that they've been playing a final every week for the last 7, 8, 9 weeks. And then once you get there, can you start all over again? I can see them winning their first final. I think they're stronger than, say, Carlton, Fremantle, who they may play at the MCG, but then they have to travel the next 2 weeks after that.
But is as much and all as fans don't like this week off, I assume the majority of fans don't like it, is it an opportunity to reset? You talk about how they've been winning. Is it now, OK, it's a whole new ball game now, it's a whole new competition?
It's a good point you make, that you're not rolling straight into it in that sense. But, yeah, I think their fitness, Kane, I remember you used to have it at Port Adelaide where you believed you were fitter than everyone. I think they are running over the top of teams and steamrolling.
Yeah, I mean, their half forwards come up so high and sprint back, so they're doing all the running. But yeah, they're in a good spot, Damo. Just here's the votes before you have your say: Newcombe, D'Ambrosio, the Wizard, Watson, and Sicily.
Yeah, TJ, what the week does do is help the return of Will Day and Chongquoth Jaff, who are both missing at the moment, and a natural walk-up starts into that 22. So.
But as a fan, it's horrible this week off.
Look, I've switched my view to it being needed to be the week between prelim and grand final purely for the concussion element.
That'd be worse.
Well, if you get concussed in a prelim final, you're not playing in a grand final, and that's where my thoughts go now. I don't think we need the break after the home and away season. I think the benefit should go to the grand final teams.
I think it is better for the product. Giving them the extra break, the quality of the first finals are amazing, I think.
Well, then I subscribe to that suggestion. Bring the Brownlow forward to this week.
Yeah, well, we'll have the All-Australian tomorrow afternoon. Certainly the squad will be announced, so that will create some talk. And then you roll into a Thursday final, so it does come around reasonably quickly.
Yeah. All righty, we'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. More in just a moment. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Sorry, Lordo, what am I saying?
I just wasn't sure about that question.
OK, righto. I'm not going to ask it now. Welcome back as we turn our attention to Richmond and the Gold Coast. And these are the scores from the MCG yesterday. We spoke about it in detail a little earlier on about the emotion of the day with the farewells. But what does it mean? I was going to ask you who's got more to look forward to, Richmond or Gold Coast, but I'm not going to ask that question now.
No, don't
Let's
ask that
stick to Richmond because what have they got to look forward to in 2025? Have you seen enough to suggest there's going to be genuine improvement?
Well, it's what they've got to look forward to is draft picks and how they handle this off-season to be able to get as many possible as they can for the next 2 seasons. I imagine they'll try and trade out for next year round 1 picks as well. So it is probably the biggest draft since 2004 or 5 where they did load up and now they're premiership players. There's 3 years of premierships there, so this is the biggest one since then.
What's on their list, though, that will still be there in 2025 that you like? Because I again, don't analyse footy like you three guys do, but I'm not sure there's a lot of quality that's going to take them significantly places.
The writing on the wall's been there for a long time. They're probably 3 seasons. You could look at this list and go, it's only going one way. So, look, there's enough experience. Hopefully Lynch comes back and gets 15, 17 games. Hopefully Hopper is a better prospect than what he's been. Taranto will play. Gibcus you may get back and go, and there's a couple of youngsters around the edges.
Tom Brown, Steely Green.
There isn't. Like Seth
so do you rely solely on the draft, or do you
complete rebuild?
Do you look to target a ready-made established player?
Straight to the draft, which is what they should have done before they got.
Then it's going to be a slow build, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was talking to a draft expert in this space who said that this year's draft is far stronger than next year's. Said all clubs are trying to get into this year's draft, so it's probably a good time for it to happen. Then Tasmania are coming in as well to compromise drafts. What's that in 2 years, Damo?
Yeah, well, the entry point is 2028, and there's every chance there'll be a form of compromise in the 2027 draft before that as well.
Yeah, so this is the year for them. They just got to load up, and it'll be another rough year next year.
Yeah,
but it can't be any worse.
And for Gold Coast, TJ, I'm going to say it every year, but there has to be finals. Like it has to be. You win 11 games, well, whoop-de-doo, you've won the most games in club history. Easiest draw, full healthy squad, 3-time premiership coach on a big contract. You set the big goals at the start of the year, and you've delivered a performance which you're 3 games off essentially playing finals.
So look at the votes.
Is that why you said don't ask about Gold Coast?
Votes from yesterday, and it was the Gold Coast Suns at the top of the Flanders was pretty good. Anderson, Rioli was good, and Witts, and the winner of the Lou Richards medal couldn't get there without a great team behind them, like the team of Lexus of Blackburn, whose dedication to customer service means you'll enjoy every visit to their cafe-style showroom. See Andrew Moore and the team at Lexus of Blackburn for all your Lexus needs. So the Lou Richards medal leaderboard sits like this. Nick Dacos, 124. Paddy Cripps plays today. So if Paddy Cripps votes, he wins. the Lou Richards Medal, and it is an absolutely brilliant prize, and it is the Lou Richards Medal driving home in a fully loaded Lexus LBX. So it's going to be either Nick Dacos or Paddy Cripps, thanks to Andrew Moore and the team at Lexus of Blackburn. Just like our winner, you'll make a dynamic impact when you arrive in the Lexus LBX, a compact hybrid sporty package without compromise. Test drive the new LBX at Lexus of Blackburn today.
What if it's a tie?
I don't think it can be the way
no
that
one's ever
votes
got,
was
no
configured.
one's ever voted.
Do we do it like the pole vault? Where they...
No, you can't get 2 votes. So we vote 10, 9, 8, 7.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So there won't be a tie.
Won't be a tie.
Okay, good. We've sorted that out. We're going to come back with Damo's agenda next. Tom Hawkins. I'm intrigued about Tom Hawkins as to whether we will in fact see him before the end of the season, and also the wild card round. I want to get your views on that. That's all coming up. Are you talking about that?
It's scheduled to be talked about, TJ. Yes, I don't like the wildcard round, but I know you do, so we'll talk about it.
We're going to talk about that right after the break here on the Sunday Footy Show.
I'm Shannon Campbell's #1 fan. My name's Keith, and I'm also her dad.
Oh gosh, is this going to be a stitch-up?
This is a picture of Shannon when she was lucky enough to go and play soccer in America. There was another father beside me, and he said, "Which is your gal?" And just as he said that, the other team's striker made a break, and Shannon came in, got the ball, and took this player out. And I said, "That one." We always encouraged our kids to try everything at least once. Shannon took it a little bit too far. She won the primary school tennis tournament futsal, AFL soccer, right through to Premier Women's basketball.
My poor parents had to race us around into 3 different locations half the time and 2 different sports in afternoons.
And this might not be a secret, but I actually enjoy doing what I do, Shan.
I'm Shannon Campbell, and Keith is my #1 fan.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Keith, definitely Shannon's #1 fan there. A great initiative by Yui. Who's your #1 fan, Nath?
It'd be Mum, I think. Yeah, Mum. She wrote a book about me, so pretty happy.
All right, you could write a book about this man, Damien Barrett, with his agenda for this Sunday.
So we just spoke about Richmond from a what they've got perspective, and they are going to be a big player in the player exchange period. So obviously we've got the unknowns around Liam Baker, the expected requirements of both Shea Bolton and also Daniel Rioli to want to respectively go, TJ, to Perth and the Gold Coast, and between them, Fremantle and Gold Coast have 5 first-round draft picks already able to be traded. So that's what Richmond's going to be hopeful of getting. Baker, obviously, you've also got other questions to make about Graham, and I believe that Tom Lynch will be a person of interest for both Collingwood and Melbourne, at least in consideration. They both are on record now of needing a key forward for next year. I feel that he's going to be of interest. What does become an impost, though, is a $1.5 million price tag on his attached contract for next year.
And what they give up for it?
Well, they wouldn't have to give up too much. I think taking as much as the salary will be a reason enough. So it is a watch this space. And as we saw earlier in the show and yesterday at the MCG, the farewells of the great Dustin Martin was part of the ceremony yesterday, and the emotion attached to that. We'll go from one...
Could Collingwood fit $1.5 million in, though?
No, they couldn't. They'd need to configure a way to pay that. But again, both clubs are on record already, Brownie, since the completion of their seasons Friday night. They want key forwards to be with them next year, established ones.
Tom Hawkins.
Now, from one great of the game in Dusty Martin to another, Tom Hawkins spoke post-match yesterday to the host broadcast of Fox Sports about where he's at.
I'm trying my best, but if I fall short, we've achieved enough. So hopefully just get back out and play.
So, hasn't played Lordo for some time. There's no doubt the Geelong forward line has looked better without him there. Do you see a way that he gets back in for a final?
I wouldn't select it. Say I'm sitting as a neutral and I don't have the attachment or the emotional attachment to Tom, but I'd be sticking with Shannon Neal, who's played consistent football over the past 2 months versus a player who hasn't played for, 5-6 weeks and was struggling in the 5-6 weeks before that. But wouldn't surprise me if he comes in for the first final.
Yep. TJ, there's a conditioning for AFL clubs for the wild card to be brought in next year. There was a recent gathering of clubs with the AFL. They hinted strongly this was the case. Let's just take a look at the ladder as it stands now before the remaining 3 matches today. So these ladder placements will change on the back of the 3 matches still to be played. But what we would be looking at would be a 7v10 and an 8v9 9 wildcard round in this weekend coming up, corresponding to next season rather than the complete bye that clubs would have. So, look, I'm really against it. I feel 23 matches is enough to work out whether you're good enough to make the top 8 or not.
I just feel sorry for the 7th place team having to play 10th.
So you agree with Damo?
Yeah, oh, well, I think I do now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put it into context like that, I think Western Bulldog supporters would be filthy.
It'd be basically a guaranteed top 6 into the finals, and then you've got down to 10. So I'm with you on that, and I'm for what it's worth, really strong on it. The 23.
I'm with you, so you can't be with. I'm with you.
Yeah, okay, you're with me. But 23 matches is enough. It's too many matches when it's all said and done for an 18-team competition.
All right. Anyone else like it?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I think we've just witnessed one of the worst rounds of football we've ever seen. It would have been a lot different if there was still a live game for Collingwood.
Well, there will be, but there will be today.
Yeah, but I think Friday through Saturday's been a disaster.
Well, that's quite literally the luck of the draw. Hey, now you've been smelling.
Yeah,
unique.
magnificent, beautiful.
Yeah, because of this. This is the Peter Dacos cologne. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But this is what we're doing on Friday at 11:30 through until 2:30. Oh, really, that long? Down at Olympic Park, Collingwood's headquarters there. It is the Sunday Footy Show. We are going on the road, and you can book online there. And this, as I said, is the Peter Dacos fragrance there. And I've got to say, you did splash yourself in it this morning, Kane. It does smell nice.
It is really nice.
It is nice. Dake's done a good job.
It, didn't it?
Did.
Is this the one that's open?
Looks open.
It is now.
Beautiful packaging, though.
It is very nice packaging.
Got
and
all
it's
these premierships and career goals, and don't do that.
No, I didn't spray it towards you.
Don't waste it.
No, I'm not wasted. Oh, you say it's wasted on Nathan, do you?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, so there it is there. So if you're looking for a Father's Day gift, that is certainly the one you want to have a look at. It's the Peter Dacos fragrance.
Nice.
It's about 125... I've just got it in my mouth. It's about $125 a pop, and you can buy it online now.
Would you consider spending $125 on it?
He can't buy $11 soup. He's not going to spend $125 on fragrance.
Well, he's going to take 2 home for free. He doesn't need to spend it.
He'll sell
I'm not.
He's still got to give his Olympics uniform.
He'll take one and sell one.
No, I'm not. But to answer your question, no, I personally wouldn't spend $125. But I know plenty of people who would, and Dakes is worth every squirt. Anyway, we'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. Oh, cannot wait for this tonight. That man there with the golden smile, Tom Morris, he is up and about because Footy Furnace has been an out-and-out standout this year on the footy media landscape. And how could it not be with that man, Jimmy Bartell, and also that man, the legend himself, Lee Matthews. Footy Furnace, 9:30 tonight on 9 Now. Check it out. It is not to be missed. Footy Furnace tonight, 9:30 on 9 Now. All right, let's take a look at the remaining matches for this round because these matches will have a distinct bearing on the outcome of the finals makeup.
It is massive. So let's look at the Giants up against the Western Bulldogs. This is in Ballarat, and we're hearing some late changes for the Giants. Maybe Toby Bedford, Brent Daniels, which would be massive for those. That's what Jack just told me in my ear. So that is huge, which I don't think they can win without those two players. Bedford would have tagged one of the elite midfielders, but Toby Green has a huge record against the Western Bulldogs. I think he's kicked 24 goals in his last 5 games against them, so they need to be able to stop him. I like the fact that he said during the week, I like the fact that we're not playing the Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. That's their home ground, which is the same at Mars, but we're taking them away from where they are so good. So a little bit of seed of doubt there by Toby Green.
Yeah, so the Giants have just announced that they've made 3 changes. Connor Stone, Toby Bedford's got calf soreness, Brent Daniels got a lower back, been replaced by Nick Haynes, Xavier O'Halloran and Callum Brown.
And the other big matchup is Liam Jones taking on Jesse
Hogan, yeah. And I just wonder whether Lob as well, he might get Cadman and you just say, OK, just sit off him, play off him. Cadman's not going to destroy a game on us like Hogan is, so double team, triple team him in that one.
And Bontempelli's the one as well. We saw what De Goey did to the Giants in the prelim final last year with 13 clearances. They can't allow Marcus Bontempelli to do that. He's the guy for the Western Bulldogs and you wouldn't want to allow him to stand free at stoppage today.
Carlton and St Kilda, this one, not only Carlton's finals chances hinge on this, but also a Brownlow medal chance.
Paddy Cripps, yes.
Paddy Cripps, absolutely. Jack Steele. So we're looking at the Karcher high-pressure matchup today, and that is Jack Steele. So you can't let Cripps do what he did last week. Damo. You just cannot allow it. And if you can shut this man down, I think they're halfway home.
I think it rests on him again, doesn't it, Lotto? He delivered last week. He's delivered regularly in the last 3 seasons, Paddy Cripps. But if he doesn't play well today, Carlton's finals chances will go by the wayside.
Have you got a Karcher at home?
Yes, I do, actually.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. Have you got a Karcher?
My wife said to me, we need a high pressure.
Oh, look at him trying to use
No, he
this.
does.
Yeah.
Well, we know people now.
We do, yeah. So,
Well, mate, have a look online. The Karcher. I mean, I don't even know of any other brand when it comes to.
I'd like one too.
Either do I.
In fact, I wish we had one now. We'd spray that cologne off.
Fremantle and Port Adelaide in Perth, the last game today. Now, it could be a dead rubber. It may not be for Fremantle. We'll wait and see how it plays out. But I just want to look at Nat Fyfe, because I think it's a big day for Nat Fyfe, because Port Adelaide's
You're big on this, aren't you?
strength. Well, the power through Port's midfield, can Fyfe actually go toe-to-toe with a Horn Francis or with an Ollie Wines or Rosie or Butters? There's his average kicks and his drop-off per year. He just doesn't want to kick the football. So I think he's been a bit of a liability with football in hand, and defensively on the spread as well as an issue for them.
You have to stop Zach Butters. His back half of the season has been outstanding, Zach Butters. I think Rosie's been okay, but he's the number one. I think he comes home hard in the Brownlow medal, Zach Butters.
Okay, bring us home, Damo, for this segment, because it is time for Animal Fact.
It is, TJ. Look, we're often faced with little challenges in life, and it happens for animals as well. And when you do overcome those challenges, you should celebrate it, as this little horse does. Now, I love little horses because they think they're big horses, but this was a big jump for this horse. And look, he's really apprehensive and pensive about it. And yes! And he's so happy. He's a bit of Josh Rochelle about him here. He goes and celebrates by himself, but it's a good little overcoming of a challenge, TJ.
A little horse is also known as a Shetland.
Is it? Yeah. They think they're big horses, though. That's why I like it.
Hey, I'm the horse expert on this panel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Spring Carnival coming up when you come into your own.
Yeah.
How's Bart going to go this spring?
Yeah, let's move on.
Indeed we will, because we've got 2 Sons of Guns coming up next for Louis' handball. Stick around. This is going to be, as Lou would say, a ring-a-ding-ding. Show. Great to have your company on this Sunday. Joining us, 2 young guns of the game, Sons of Guns.
Oh, certainly are,
actually, yeah. We're talking about Ed Allen and also Kelsha Deer. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good. You've got a big day coming up. You're off to your sister's place. No, explain what happened.
No, you do it.
Okay, so I said in the ad break, I said to Kelsha, what are you up to today? And I thought you said you're off to your sister's place. But he actually said off to James Sicily's place.
We are live, yeah?
Let's talk some footy, Kelsha. They're telling me you're the difference because you played your first game at round 8. From that moment, the Hawks have been on this extraordinary run through until the finals. Are you the difference at the Hawks?
No, you've stitched me up here, Kane. No, definitely not. I think we flipped a massive switch since then. So not just me, but the whole team.
In all honesty, though, Kelsha, you played the 15 matches, only the 2 losses. Both of those losses were by a kick. How many games at the start of the year did you think you'd have to your name by now?
Yeah, not many at all, to be honest. I thought it really depended on how the season went and if I would get a game. But, yeah, came into the year thinking I'd be at Box Hill and would hopefully try for next year, see how I go. But, yeah, so much has changed and very happy.
It was a beautiful occasion when you were told that you were playing your first senior game, because it was Jack Gunston who told you that when you were sitting down going through some tapes. And yourself and Jack have built up quite a relationship, born by tragedy, I guess, in the family.
Yeah, we're very close. I think he's helping me every day at the club with just trying to pass on his experience down to me, and for him to tell me all the news, even about the Rising Star a couple of weeks ago, and the debut was just so special. I wouldn't rather anyone else tell me.
And that bond I talk about is the fact that you both lost your dads around about the same time.
Yeah, within 3 days of each other, which was, not what you want. But I guess we have to deal with it, and he's helped me so much with that too, so yeah.
And I think we've got some highlights of your dad here, just one of the absolute greats of the game, Paul Deer.
Absolutely. On the biggest stage of all, he'll always be remembered. Paul Deer, Norm Smith medalist on this day, and you watch many of these clips over the years, Kelsey?
Yeah, I've seen it quite a lot. Dad obviously didn't show it too much. He didn't really talk about footy a whole lot after, but I was always a curious little kid and watching on YouTube heaps and all that.
And Ed, it was a strange old night Friday night, but you got the job done. The lightning delay, you came on and kicked your first goal, which was great.
Yep, it was good. A bit of a weird experience in the second game with the lightning, but it was good to get back out and lucky to get on.
Watching you play the other night, it felt like you'd played 50 to 60 games. You were breaking tackles like we see here, using the ball nicely. You really arrived.
Yeah, I guess I've had a fair few games in the VFL to probably build some confidence, build some form. And yeah, there's a lot of great players ahead of me, like Jack Chris, Scott Pendlebury, Steele Sidebottom, that have shown me the ropes.
Aside from that, like trying to get past some superstars of the game, what's been the feedback of where they've wanted you to improve this year to earn another?
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of work with some of the development coaches, Josh Fraser and Andy Otten, just in my stoppage craft and my midfield craft. I think putting like 3 focuses a game, and I think that's helped me a lot.
Both their fathers played in a premiership together in Ben Allen, superstar, moved to Fremantle. He was an absolute superstar. Your dad, there he is playing for the Hawks. 97 games or 98?
98, yeah.
So it's missed father-son by 2 games, don't they?
And best and fairest in that premiership year, Lordo, which takes some doing in 1991.
And he left for Fremantle to be their first captain?
Yeah, he did.
So who did you grow up barracking for? Hawthorn?
Being WA, I went for Freo. No, I was a bit of a nuffy back in the day.
You're not now?
No, definitely not, no.
I think there'll be a few people interested in what happens after the season finishes. So what this week looks like for you and tomorrow, the next couple of days?
Yeah, day off today, and then we got exit interviews tomorrow and Tuesday. And then we have a players get together on Wednesday, and then after that, wraps up formalities until the best and fairest.
Does that mean the old-fashioned Mad Monday's gone?
Oh, I mean, I'm probably not the one to ask.
I think it's Wacky Wednesdays.
I think Fev might have put a stop to the Mad Monday festivities back in the day. Remember that?
I do, yes.
Let's not talk to you about Mad Mondays. Every Monday's a mad one for you. Right, let's get down to business. You know how the game works?
Move the target.
It's handball.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get on the Savo.
All right, you off to your sisters?
No.
Shocking. All right, fellas, thanks very much for coming in. All the very best for your off-season and indeed the season coming up next year. You've certainly set the benchmark there for yourselves to sort of go above and beyond next season. All right, don't forget, Thursday morning, 10:30, Sydney Road, Coburg. There it is. That's our car wash. Oh, OK. Well, as we explained earlier, that's me on your body.
Yes, that's right.
How would you like your head on my body?
Wouldn't be ideal.
OK. All right, whatever you might be doing for the rest of you. Sorry?
Birkenstocks?
Yeah.
Sorry?
The Birkenstocks. Love your Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You might find one right up there. Right, we're going to take a break. In fact, we're going to take a week's break and we'll see you next Sunday right here on the Sunday Footy Show. Sorry, guys.